What's up, everybody? We are going to go ahead and get started. Thanks for everybody that showed up early and on time. Always expect a few more people to trickle in, so super grateful that you guys showed up on time. Looks like we have some new faces in here as well too, so that's exciting. We get anywhere from 30 to 100 people in the Zooms. We max them out sometimes. So super stoked to have you guys today. We're just going to be talking about cash deals. So, we do a lot of creative finance deals and we've talked at length about everything creative finance, but today we just want to talk about cash deals because interest rates are dropping, inventory's low. Cash deals are the lower lying fruit right now with foreclosures, driving for dollars, and even on market deals too. So we're going to talk a lot about how to find cash deals and then identify what a good cash deal actually looks like, and then how to underwrite and know if your numbers will even make sense. So before I get started, if you're new in here, if this is your first time in one of our Zooms, always just like to know who our new faces are. If you could type one in the chat for me, just so I know who's new. Clinton's quick with it before I could even say it. Right on. Corey, Jen, We Buy Raleigh Houses. If you guys could, if your name is We Buy Raleigh Houses or Zoom user, if you could put your first and last name, that way we know who we're talking to. We greatly appreciate it. Sweet. Right on. Glad to have you guys. Anthony, what's up? I know a few of you I just invited. Ezekiel, welcome to have you, brother. Thanks for showing up. Sean, thanks for showing up. Some OGs in the chat, closing loans with Lily. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Glad to have you back. Holly Cross, Pansy, of course. Sadakini. Good to see you, Sadakin. Haven't seen you in a while. Stephen Barcel, Yvette. Glad to see you guys. Super stoked to have you guys. David, thanks for showing up. Right on. Graham, as always, the OG Graham Norris with the smooth British accent. Glad to see you. Jeremy,
That was
sweet.
nice.
Of course. Robert Draper, good to see you guys, man. Thanks for showing up. Renee, hopefully I'm not missing you guys. I know there's more in here. Clinton, good to see you guys. If I missed you, I'm sorry, but thanks for showing up again. Sweet. So yeah, we'll get started. Let me just do my normal intro. I just want to show you guys how you can connect with our team. We have a huge JV program that we push. A lot of you guys know about our JV program already. So if you've seen this 1,000 times, bear with me. We do it every time. So first thing I want to show you guys is our Facebook group. So we do have our very own Facebook group. Also, if you liked the intro music, this is actually a buddy of mine I went to high school with, Amoeba, on Spotify. It's just called Lo-Fi Hip Hop. They're just cool hip hop beats that you can do work to. So I love his music. Shout out to him. But yeah, our Facebook group. So Herd of Profits. Sean, he's on. What's up, brother? So Herd of Profits is the name of our Facebook group. That is the name of the Elephant Challenge. So if you came here from the Elephant Challenge, we are the Herd of Profits leaders. If you have no idea what the Elephant Challenge is, no worries. Here's the link to the Facebook group. I just dropped it in the chat. Oh yeah. Also, too, before I move forward, thanks, Pansy, for reminding me. Today is Rachel's birthday. Everybody, if you could type in the chat, happy birthday, Rachel. She is the back end integrator, badass to our team, and we really appreciate her. So, no, you don't want to hear me sing, Zadikin. You don't want to hear me sing. Everybody, just wish her a happy birthday in the chat. So yeah, Herd of Profits, definitely come check out the Facebook group. 2,200 members and growing. So you can post deals in here. You can find private money lenders. You can find boots on the ground. You can find contractors, commercial lenders, real estate agents in probably every market in the country. A lot of sub-2 students in here. Jerry Norton's a part of our Facebook group. I always shout him out. So yeah, definitely a lot of resources in the Facebook group. Files, if you come over to the Files tab, we talk about this a lot, but just check out this Files tab. There's so many resources. I mean, I would recommend you download every single thing in here and play around with it. We have underwriting calculators. We have a purchase and sale agreement, an actual contract you can use. So tons of good stuff in the Files tab in the Facebook group. Now, our JV program, I'll talk about a little bit in the Facebook group. If you come over to the featured tab, this post right here, hey team, we've had a lot of new people join. So Maybe that's not the one. That one can join the Discord. Let me unpin this one. Go to discussion. So if you come to featured, scroll down. I'll show you guys how to find it in the Discord too. It's a lot easier. That should be our first pin message. So here's our new form link. So you have to scroll down, but we have JV links, right? So if you're working on a lead, it doesn't even have to be under contract. Maybe you just had one conversation with the agent or one conversation with a seller, and now you're not quite sure what the next step is, whether that's underwriting, identifying it's even a good deal in the first place, writing a contract, negotiating, opening escrow, depositing earnest money, finding a buyer, transaction coordinating, wherever you're stuck and needing help with, that's what we have the JV program for. So wherever you're at in your process of that lead, you can submit it to us, whether you're direct to agent or direct to seller, and we'll go ahead and take that lead to the finishing line if we can. So, and you'll be along with us the whole way. We'll hold your hand. We'll show you exactly what we do to send an offer, underwrite, write contracts, market to find buyers and get it closed. You'll be CC'd on all the emails, tagged on all the Facebook posts, all that good stuff. So if you're working on a lead, use these forms. Now, if you already have a deal locked up and you need help finding a buyer, we have this dispo form. So if you have a cash deal, a creative deal, maybe you don't have the biggest buyers list. If you want us to find you a buyer, you can send it to us and we can help you get it posted on InvestorLift, the largest dispo platform in the world, probably. We have a big private list of cash and creative buyers we'll send it out to. And then also we're sub 2 students. So if you're not in sub 2, we can post it in the paid sub 2 private Facebook group as well. So tons of value for you here. We also have a wrap buyer form. So if you know someone looking for a primary, you can submit that through here, and an investor buyer form as well, if you guys want to join our buyers list. So Facebook group is great. The YouTube channel. So we've been doing 2 Zooms a year, or sorry, 2 Zooms a week for over a year now. So here's the link to the YouTube channel. If you want to come back and just if you're driving or you're working out and you want to learn, we have a lot of resources in here for you. All their Zooms have been live streamed to YouTube and stored on Angie's YouTube channel. So come drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, share it with your friends and your family, your dogs, all that good stuff. And follow us on Instagram too, if you could. So yeah, the YouTube channel today is going to be cash, like I said. So you guys can come back to this YouTube channel and watch this Zoom over again. If you missed something, you didn't get to write it down, you can do that. And then lastly, but most importantly, I would say, is our Discord channel. So Rachel dropped a bunch of links in the chat. If you guys look for the Discord link, you guys can come and sign up and join the Discord. If you're not the most technically savvy, let's say you got into it, but you're not sure why you can't see all these other channels, you have to come over to this verification button and check this little box down here. Once you do that, you'll have access to all of the other channels in here. The Discord is really where we're trying to grow our own community. If you check out the links tab, here's where all of the JV forms are, investor buyer form, our YouTube and Instagrams, the links for the Zooms every Tuesday and Friday. We talk about meetups in here. We host seminars in here. We have a need a list tab. So if you want to start making calls, but let's say you don't have PropStream or you don't know how to skip trace a list, we will send you a list. Okay, sweet. Yeah. Also, if you are struggling to get into the Discord, I know it's a little bit tougher to get into. If you join the Facebook group, Jake, probably one of the most recent ones, has posted a video in the feature tab on how to get into the Discord. So head over to Launch Pass Portal, enter your email, witness the magic. I'm sure you use ChatGPT in this, but here's an info about how to get into Discord. We have videos. So here's all our YouTube videos, listen to calls. So we plan to upload recordings of calls in here as well. Buy box. So if you guys want to know what we're looking to buy, here's our buy boxes. So tons of stuff, play around in here. probably the coolest thing, and if you guys haven't heard anything I've said so far, listen to this. So we have what's called a virtual office. So 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, both from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Mountain Time. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 to 3 p.m. Mountain Time, we have a virtual office. So you can come join the virtual office. We had one yesterday. We probably had a good 15 or so people in here, learning from each other, asking each other questions, making phone calls. I know Robert's in here making phone calls. Oliver's in here making phone calls every Tuesday and Thursday. So great place to connect and just chat with us as well. So every Tuesday and Thursday, 1 to 3 p.m. Mountain Time, you can join the virtual office, and it feels just like you're in the office next to us. So go ahead and join the Discord there. Needs Dispo. So here's where you can post deals. And then we also have a what do you call this? A ticket request. So if you have a question, you have a deal you're working on, you can create a ticket, and we'll see that immediately and get you assistance as soon as possible. Sweet. So that's the Discord. Check out the Discord. Let me make sure I'm caught up. Paulette says, what happened if you have Discord account? How to get to you all? They're calling our list, Clinton. So we provide the lists. We'll send you a JV agreement, and you're good to go ahead and start calling those lists. They're going to be foreclosure lists, expired listings list, tired landlord list, low equity list, you name it. We've already probably skip traced all these lists. So, oh yeah, huge thing too. We now officially have a PropStream affiliate link. So if any of you guys don't have PropStream and you like PropStream or you want to get PropStream, we have an affiliate link. Rachel, is there a discount when they join with our affiliate link at all for the first month or anything like that?
I don't think they've given that to us yet, but that doesn't mean that won't happen in the future.
Okay, sweet. And one thing I suggest too, if you guys are looking to get PropStream, is to squat up with each other in the chat. So PropStream will let you have multiple accounts, and you guys can help pay for it if you guys squat up with each other too. So highly recommend that. If you don't have PropStream, you don't want to pay the full, I don't know what it is, 150, $200 a month for it. Squat up with each other. You can even split it up over 3 accounts. And really, drop the cost of that a lot lower too. So, and then last thing before we get started on cash, we have a Denver, Colorado sub-2 meetup happening tomorrow. So if you're in Colorado and you haven't been to a meetup, or even if you have been to the meetups, we'd love to have you again. It's from 4 to 6 p.m. tomorrow at the Monkey Barrel in Denver. The address is posted in the chat. It's off of 44th and Tejon. Nick says, any PML, PMP, or Gators in here? I have a deal I need funding for. Love it, Nick, taking action. I'm sure we have tons of PMLs, PMPs, and Gators in here. We also are PMPs, Gators as well. If you need any assistance with us, you can submit it through the Discord, submit a ticket. Hey, here's the deal I have, or send it through a JV form and let us know what the deal looks like. Let us know you're looking to buy it and what you're needing. So we can help you out there. Great. Okay, sweet. 59 people. Glad to have
Hey,
you guys. So
Dylan,
let's, yeah.
we have one more affiliate link that I'll drop in the chat.
Okay.
So we partner up with Chris with Potter Nation with Go High Level. He helps me. We coordinate and collaborate on a lot of things. So we have an affiliate link. So if you guys need a system to put your leads in, we have that affiliate link. So I'm going to drop that in the chat.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, and I'll show you guys our CRM actually real quick too, just so you understand the JV process and what our backend CRM looks like. And if you've closed a few deals, I wouldn't suggest paying and getting a fancy CRM unless you've closed at least 5 deals. Typically you can, get by using Google spreadsheets or free CRMs like Podio. But if you are interested in what our CRM looks like, Rachel's going to drop the affiliate link. So this is our CRM. It's a go high level platform that's customized by our integrator, Chris Padalka. I don't know how you say his last name, Padalka. It's called Podoma.
Ottawa.
Podowa? Oh, sorry. Yeah, Podimation is what it's called. So this is what it looks like to us when you guys submit a lead. So it comes in, I can see the form that you submitted right here. I have all the info. I can go to property details and see why are they selling, what does the property need in repairs. I can see the realtor information. This is just a test, so you're not seeing it here. But the coolest thing is the JV information. So when you submit a lead, you're the JV partner. We have your email, we have your phone number. So anytime we update the lead, right? Like, hey, Chris, the seller hung up on me. I couldn't get anywhere. We'll send you that note immediately and it'll send it to your email. So that way, you know, we're working on your lead, what the status of it is, if we're able to convert it, or if it's a dead lead to us, or maybe we need to follow up in a month, you'll know instantly where your lead is at. So biggest question we get is like, what happens when I pass you my lead? Is it just dead to me? Am I just giving it over to you? No, we're doing a joint venture. So when you submit a lead, do your best in the additional notes, property notes, like, sent an offer, the agent countered whatever with some terms, need help underwriting and sending a contract, right? If you let us know that, okay, great, we'll come in, give us as much info as possible. We'll see the terms they countered at and let you know, hey, these terms don't make sense. Here's where we will recounter and we'll help you send a letter of intent or an offer that makes sense where we know it will be a successful wholesale deal. The CRM is about $97 a month. If you add phone numbers to it, it could cost more, but yeah, base is $97 a month. We can also send offers from here. We can do email campaigns, text campaigns, so many other cool features. Anytime we lock up a deal, we blast it out to all of our buyers through the CRM. So it's a great software. If you've already closed a couple of deals, I would suggest looking into it. If you're still on your first few deals, I would suggest holding off until you got a good system going. Sweet. We have a Privy affiliate link too, right, Rach? Or not yet?
I gotta check with Angie on that one.
Okay. We have a Privy affiliate link coming soon as well too. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Jamie says, I was late. Sorry.
Yes,
Can you
we have a
share
Privy.
about?
I'll put it in.
Okay. So we do have a Privy affiliate link as well too. If you guys still haven't gotten Privy, highly suggest it. That is a great software to have. Jenny says, sorry, I was late. Can you share how we will get the JV agreement? I have an off-market lead I'd like to submit. So Jamie, go ahead and submit the lead. We don't necessarily send a JV agreement until we know, like, hey, we're going to get this under contract, unless it's looking like it's going to close, just because who knows, what the deal even looks like, right? So submit the lead first, we'll look at it, and then if we think we can get it to the closing table, then we'll send you a JV agreement. There's also a Gmail plugin called Streak if you must have a CRM. Oh, okay, cool. David, I didn't even know that. Gmail plugin called Streak. It's a free CRM. Lily says, does anyone already have a well-designed Google Sheet for managing leads, cash buyers, realtors by chance? I don't, but if anyone does, hit up Lily. Right on. Appreciate it, Corey. So let's get into the meat and potatoes now. So cash deals, right? So I'm sure a lot of you found us through the creative Facebook group or sub 2, right? We probably closed a good 50, 60 subject to transactions last year and then another 20 or so cash deals. 2023 was a little tougher for cash because fix and flippers got scared by the rising interest rates. A lot of them may have, lost their butts on their current fix and flips. So you saw the cash buyer, fix and flip buyers decrease or just hold off. But now you're seeing inventory is so low that it's still such a strong seller's market, even though interest rates are in the 6s and 7s. So fix and flips are still making sense in 2024. So we're going to hit them pretty hard. So cash deals, let's see. So we want to start by identifying what does a cash deal even look like, right? So there's multiple ways you can identify and find cash deals, right? I think most of us in here have Privy. If any of you guys in here don't have Privy, PropStream, maybe all you're using is Zillow and Realtor.com. If that's you, could you type a 2 in the chat? I just want to see who's only just using Zillow, county websites, stuff like that. Okay, so a few of you guys, but most of you, I'm guessing, have some sort of software. If you guys don't know, PropWire is another system that's free. It's an investor software. It's free, so it's not as good as PropStream or Privy. Um, Oh yeah, another thing too, we forgot to mention too. I didn't even see Mr. Greg Bilbros in the house. If any of you guys are, let's say, experienced wholesalers, right? Like you're averaging anywhere from 3 to 6 deals a month, right? You have a team in place, you have closers, and you're looking to expand. Maybe if you're interested in pay-per-click advertising, pay-per-click marketing, we have our guy Greg Bilbro in the chat who has his own digital marketing company nationwide. So if you're looking to pay for pay-per-click or you're interested in just seeing what pay-per-click looks like, go to his website, geoflip.com, book a call with him, and he will give you guys the breakdown on what it looks like for PPC. And at the same time, he's going to interview you and make sure you're a good fit for PPC as well, too. He's not trying to sell it to you. He wants to make sure you're successful first. So shout out to Greg. If you guys are looking for PPC, hit up him. Right on. Okay, so Cash. So let's talk about identifying deals, right? So I'm going to be using Privy, PropStream, and I'll even look at some deals on Zillow. But right off the bat, let's look at Privy first. So Privy is a relatively new deal finding software in the space, but is amazing for finding on market deals. And I'm not an expert at Privy. I know there's people in here that probably are, but the great thing about it is they have this learning center, so you can learn how to find deals, all that good stuff. But one filter I like to use, so I could type in Denver, Colorado, and I can hit this filter right here and I can filter for, this is one of my favorite lists. I'm going to click absentee owner. So I'm looking for people that own properties, but they don't live in it. So it's either vacant or it's a rental or it's a vacation home. I'm looking for tired landlords. So someone that has owned the home for multiple years, they don't live in it. It's most likely a rental and they've had it for 20 years and they're probably sick of being a landlord. And then zombie properties. Now, zombie properties could mean many things. It could mean a property needs work, it's falling apart, it could mean it's vacant. But if you cross-reference these three filters, yeah, Joey's going to tell you what zombie properties means. I know there's more than just that.
Yeah, it can mean a couple things. Mainly what I think what Privy's trying to say, what it means. Everybody has their own definition. Um, it was in a foreclosure state, right? The bank was about to, foreclose on the house and it's vacant, but the bank never went through with it, and now it's just in arrears, sitting vacant, and the bank never took the house. That's basically what a zombie property is. So somebody who is missing payments, they don't live in it, it's vacant, but the bank never foreclosed, so they still own it. Somebody still owns it. It's just a little harder to find that owner, especially because they just gave up on the house.
Sweet. Awesome. Raymond or Ramon dropped a link for PropWire if you guys want to check out PropWire. It's definitely a great starter site, free, so the data is not going to be the most accurate. Look at that. Mike has PropStream. If anyone wants to go half on the price, let him know too. So if you guys are interested in PropStream, I would say out of all the softwares, PropStream is probably mine and Joey's favorite. But we use all the systems and they're all a little bit different too. Privy, we use Privy in a different way than we use PropStream. So, but right off the bat here, right, I'm looking in just Denver, Colorado. Zone, man, this is technically Aurora. But right off the bat, right, look at this property. It looks like it was a rental, right? It's vacant, bad photos. There's only 10 photos. I actually have already called this one, already in talking to the realtor that also owns it too, Jeff. So I wouldn't recommend calling this one, but if you guys wanted some practice, you could. But yeah, Jeff, I already called this one, so I know what it is. He's a commercial real estate agent that owns this property and two other single family homes, and he's a tired landlord. His motivation was he's sick of residential real estate, fixing toilets, chasing down tenants for rent. So he just wants to get out of the residential space and focus on multifamily. So this is a perfect one. Like this was actually a good lead I found from Privy, and we're in negotiations with him. He's a little unrealistic on his price, but all things to expect. So Jacob asks, how do you go about getting a deal on a zombie property? So, Joey already hit you. You have to become a private investigator. But if it's listed, that's what Privy's showing you is listed properties. Go ahead and call the agent, call the seller, call the agent most likely, and just ask what their motivation is, right? Like, why do they need to sell? Are they a tired landlord? Are they in foreclosure? Yeah, Terrell says, please review what you'd like us to do prior to sending a lead over. What filtering and preliminary things should we cover to ensure it's a lead worth consideration? Absolutely, Terrell. That's kind of the whole point of this whole Zoom is we want to show you guys what a good lead actually looks like. And then when you find a lead, right, like this one on Emporia Street, the biggest thing you can do is call the agent and try to get the 4 pillars. How many of you guys don't know what the 4 pillars? Type me if you've never heard that. You don't know what the 4 pillars are. Maybe you've heard it. Chris, I know there's more than that too. No worries. No worries, Taro. I know there's more than just Chris, but I appreciate you for being the lone wolf, Chris. So the 4 pillars, they're what identifies if a lead is actually a lead or if it's just a prospect. So this right now, Emporia Street, I know this is a lead because I had a conversation with the agent. Might beat me to it. So it's condition, right? Condition of the home. That's easy. I can see pictures, right? Price, same thing. I know it's listed for 385. Those are the first 2 pillars. What is the third one? Timeline. So how soon are they looking to sell? And with this one on Emporia Street, that's really the seller's motivated, but he has time, right? He's the listing agent. He owns it. So he's fine to go through 3 closings. He'll take 6 months to a year to sell these 3 properties. He's in no rush. So price, condition, motivation, or timeline. Last one, the most important is motivation, right? He is a motivated seller, but he's not immediately distressed, right? But motivation, right? If you have someone that's just looking to see what they can get for it, or they have a price in mind and there's barely any wiggle room, right? Maybe not the best lead. For Jeff that owns this property, he wants 385. We offered him 315, I think, for all 3 of his properties. They're very similar. And he said, no, man, I'm not willing to take that big of a discount. I'd rather go through 3 closings, list all of them. We offered him, cash close in 14 days, and he wouldn't take it. So motivation is super important. I want you guys to write down this one question. This is probably the biggest, most important question that you can get so much information out of from an agent. And that question is, what is the highest offer you've received that you or your clients have turned down? Right? So when I call Jeff, he hasn't received any offers. So that's good. That lets me know, okay, he doesn't really know where it's going to sell at quite yet. But another lead, someone actually just sent this in. They might be in the Zoom. I forget. It was in Florida. They sent a lead, and in their notes, it says the seller's extremely motivated. I go to Zillow. It's been listed for 200 days though, right? So those things don't make sense. Motivated seller, but listed 200 days doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, Dylan, and I'm gonna add to that real quick.
Please.
Another question too, especially if you guys are working direct to seller leads or maybe direct to agent, it just depends. You got to fill them out first. I say, are you guys really interested in selling or are you entertaining? Because there's a lot of people who go to the market to entertain offers to see what they could get, but aren't really serious about selling.
Love it. They're curious and not serious. And like Jake said, that's a great way to call someone out on their bullshit. Like, you're not selling this property. This one I just called in Florida, listed 200 days. They want 315. The highest offer when I asked them that was 275. Before that, it was 250, and they turned that offer down, right? She's saying they're extremely motivated, but they won't accept an offer lower than 300. And if they don't sell, they'll just move back in, right? They're not motivated. They're curious. They really want that number. But if they don't get it, right, they don't need to sell. Andy, that question is, what is the highest offer you've received that you or your clients have turned down? That will save you so much time from submitting us leads, all that good stuff, right? So, and we'll go into underwriting a little bit more on this specific property. So that's the question, yeah. And then are you really serious about selling? That's a good way if like you've sent an offer, they've denied it, right? They've told you, hey, I've had so many offers on this, I need to sell it, but they're just denying every offer that comes in. Well, are you serious about selling? What happens? This is another good question if you guys want to write this down. What happens if you or your client doesn't sell the property? What if they don't get that number? Will they turn it into a rental? Will they move back in? Will they just let it sit vacant and try again next year? Right? If the answer is yes to any of those, then it's just not the highly motivated lead we're looking for, right? So that's good. Let's look at just a couple of more and then I'll go back to, so Kingston Road. Look at this property. Beautiful, turnkey, right? Like no work needed. You guys can tell, you don't have to look at this lead for very long to know that no work is needed, right? So when we're looking at cash deals, we're looking for properties that need some work, right? There are cash deals that make sense on properties that don't need any work, but they're very, very few and far between. Those are typically your foreclosures, probates, things like that, where someone inherited a property or, they have to sell. There's no question about it. They have to sell. But when we're looking at cash deals, we only want properties that need some work. Okay. So that's probably, let me see, who was it? Terrell, that's probably the biggest thing about your question. He said, please review what you'd like us to do prior to sending a lead over. If you're sending us a cash deal, it has to have some work needed, right? We have to be able to go in and force appreciation. We have to go in and fix up a kitchen, put it back on the market, right? If it doesn't need any work like this property, it's probably not worth my time to call. Now, me being the creative finance guy, I know that I can, call this and approach it from a different perspective, right? Maybe the seller is motivated. Maybe there is distress here. Maybe they are a tired landlord, but they've been a great landlord. They've kept it up. So I can say, would your client entertain a seller finance offer, right? I don't want to go too much into that. Today's just about cash. What about cash deals below market value? Absolutely. I mean, that's 100% what we look for.
Yeah, guys, rule of thumb, if it is finished and they want a cash offer, it has to be 80% of market value. But usually, if you send a cash deal in, the first thing I'm looking at is if it has granite countertops, I'm like just going to disqualify it right off the bat. So just keep that in mind.
Right. Yeah. Jeremy knows. Jeremy's a contractor, right? If there's not some way you can, fix the siding on a home, paint it, clean it up, add, maybe like vinyl plank, rip up some carpets, right? Maybe throw on a granite countertop. If there's nothing that you can see that can add immediate value to it, this doesn't make sense for a cash deal. So, and we'll go into underwriting in just a second. Yeah, Renee has a great point. I'm glad you brought this up, Renee. Privy might think that this is a property that is a zombie property or a tired landlord, because maybe it used to be, but a fix and flipper came in here and renovated the whole thing, and now they're just looking to sell cash or to a conventional buyer and get their money out, right? So you can even see previous sale. Look at this. They bought it in 2014, 2023. I wouldn't say this is a fix and flipper necessarily. They bought it in 2014. There goes the dog. So yeah, also identify if a property looks like, hey, it sold in 2022. These guys are selling it in 2023 or 2023, and now it's selling in 2024. It's most likely a fix and flipper, and they're not really going to entertain a low cash offer or creative finance, right? They need their money back out. David says, why no on granite countertops? Kind of same thing we've been talking about, David. If it already has granite countertops, unless the rest of the house is in disrepair and needs work, it just means that by that he means it's already a nice looking property and there's nowhere where we can go in and force appreciation. So that's what he means. If it has granite countertops, but the roof has a hole in it, we'll still look at it, right? But that's just an example of what Jake's saying. Okay, so I just want to look at a couple more leads and then we'll underwrite some stuff. So look at this one, Fulton Street. By the way, too, just a quick heads up, if you guys are looking for cash deals in Denver, good luck. Jake is on especially if you're looking at on market, even pocket listings. Jake probably knows every property in Colorado that's on market or is coming to market that needs work, is a motivated seller. But still, if you're out there, if you're in the Denver market, send us some stuff. But most likely, Jake probably already knows about it. So just a heads up there. Colorado Springs, Greeley, Pueblo, Fort Collins, though, send those in for sure. Okay, so let's look at this one. So 545 in Aurora. Jake, have you seen this one?
I haven't seen that one. I haven't.
Okay. So maybe I'm wrong. Non-conforming 3-unit plus ADU, fully boast and to house hack, blah, blah, blah. Let's look at the pictures of it. So overgrown right away, right? I can see like the landscape could use some work. These are weeds that have been growing, right? That's not a tree. That's a weed someone's just let grow and grow and grow. So overgrown, that's one thing we look for, right? Is the landscaping bad? That means that's a tired landlord or just someone that maybe is too old to take care of it, right? But lots of overgrown stuff here. But our inside looks pretty nice, right? Granite countertops, there you go. Inside looks very nice. I would say this is rentable condition right here, right? It's not in the most amazing shape, but this is a rental property, you can tell, right? But new appliances, all that good stuff, brand new appliances. It looks like new paint, some new flooring in areas. So this very well could be a tired landlord, but they went in, fixed it up, made it look a little bit nice to bring it to market. They should have fixed some of this landscape here. But this is one I'd call maybe not for a cash offer. Who knows, but it's already fixed up, right? So we can't go in and force appreciation. This is a rental property. It screams rental property, multiple units, ADU in the backyard. That's what they're talking about. Finished detached ADU, opportunity to add traditional lease, Airbnb, or traveling nurse, right? This is a creative finance lead in my eyes. So I would see maybe they have debt on it. And Privy's great. I can hit public records mortgage history. It's not going to show me any data. This is why PropStream is great. So I can grab this address, throw it into PropStream, and see if there's any debt on it. $0 estimated balance. He bought it in 2023, or they moved it into a trust. Looks like it's moved a few different times, right? But this is an investor that owns this for sure. So my only approach here is, hey, would they be interested? Would they even entertain a seller finance offer? Then I'd submit that lead if they're interested. And two, if you guys are going after seller finance, try to get their terms that they want before you submit that lead, right? Because they may want 50% down and 10% interest rate and a 1-year balloon, right? Those are horrible terms. You're better off just going to a bank. So
I also do want to add one more thing too, Dylan. I know a lot of the examples that we show you guys are single family houses. So I don't want you guys to disregard a condo if you might see it, or a multifamily that needs, work. Anything that we can add value to. A contractor can go in, like Dylan was saying, and add value to. That is an ideal cash lead. So it could be a 1-unit condo in a complex with the HOA. It could be a townhouse. It could be in a complex, maybe apartment unit. I know right now Denver's market's so competitive that people are fixing and flipping apartment units. So keep in mind, if you guys see even a unit or a condo or a townhouse, it's more than just the single family houses. It's anything that can be flipped.
Love it. So like even here in my filter, right, I can hit all of these and run search. Let's see if it adds anything. Probably will, right? So here's some condos in Denver. 2.2 million. Don't waste your time with that one, obviously. Let me see. Jamie asks a great question. Jamie says, in the lead submission, so that is true actually in the direct to agent lead form. So I'll show you guys this. Best way to find the links is in the Discord links, direct to agent. So if you click this link, the lead form, the way our system saves a contact or a lead is by the seller's name, because obviously if an agent sends us multiple properties, we'll have duplicate contacts if the agent is the contact. This is probably too much information, but we need the seller's name to identify that contact. So that's how our system stores the leads, is by the seller. So if you don't have the seller's name, you actually can find it on public record most of the time through the county websites. You can find out who owns it. If you have Privy or PropStream, you can also find it, right? So like this one here, I can hit public record. I can hit property history. And I can see that Platte Valley Holdings LLC owns it. So if you're entering that lead form, you could just put Platte Valley, last name LLC. If you absolutely cannot find it, just make up a name, Jane Doe, John Doe, whatever. That's fine too. Now, if you're direct to seller, you should know your seller's name. Right on. Thanks, Greg. Have a good one, brother. Just reading the questions. How about manufactured homes? I don't
Skip
like
on that
manufactured
one, guys.
homes. Yeah. There are people that do manufactured homes. We don't. So I don't want any manufactured homes, but there are people out there. If you want to get into the manufactured home space, there's people that make a ton of money wholesaling and flipping trailer homes, manufactured homes, but that's not our niche per se. Just reading the questions. Okay. Yep. Jacob says, I'm assuming duplexes are worth more to buyers that care about cash flow. Absolutely. And she says, we have 50K to loan. If anyone needs it for a deal, send me your deal. In any state for cash. So Vet asks a really good question. We're looking in any state for cash, right? So again, great thing about Privy, it will show you where there is investor activity, right? So let me just back out to Privy. Let me just get rid of my filters. Okay, so if I zoom out here, right? If it loads. Here we go. Okay, so let me zoom out and just look at all these states, right? Loading. Okay, so all your blue bubbles are where there is investor activity, okay? So if you guys live in Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, the middle of Wyoming, right? Like there's not that much investor activity. Arkansas, right? Like you're just not seeing a ton of investor activity. Kansas is nowheresville, right? So I would stick to major metro areas in high population density areas, right? So I'm not looking at Nebraska, South Dakota, most of Arkansas, most of Kansas, most of Wyoming. Now there's good deals in like southern Wyoming, Cheyenne for sure. Like there's 91 investor activity in Rapid City, South Dakota. So if you are in those areas, just target the major metro areas. But yeah, we're basically interested in cash deals in any state across the country, as long as it's not too rural. We don't love fix and flips where like, you're buying it for 20,000 and the ARV is 80,000, right? Like those numbers are just hard to make sense. They're really small. The margins are small. So you're better off looking for average homes around 200, 300, 400,000. There's tons of money to be made in luxury flips. So looking at $1 million homes. But typically you're dealing with more experienced agents, tougher sellers that really want the most that they can squeeze out of their home. So I wouldn't suggest luxury flips, $1 million flips. I would look at 250,000 up to maybe 650,000 when you're looking at cash deals. Joey asks if we're interested in novation agreements and fix and flips. Absolutely. Yeah, novations for sure. you know, if a seller's willing to be creative. Okay, Terrell, so let me get into underwriting and then we'll finish it off with a Q&A for the last 10 minutes. I think we'll take top 10 questions. We probably don't have much more time for that. So if you guys have a question, feel free to raise your hand and we'll get to you at the end in the order of who raises their hand first. And we'll only get to 10 most likely. So if you have a burning question, raise your hand. Corey's quick with it. So let me get into underwriting real quick. So one of the easiest ways, I'm going to just create a blank document too, and just kind of show you guys how easy it is to underwrite cash deals, right? Some people have like these flipping calculators and it's super, super intense, right? So many different parts, but underwriting cash deals tends to be a little bit easier. So let's go back to, what was that address? Let me throw in my filters real quick. I'm looking absentee, tired, zombie, run search. This one right here. Okay. So first thing you have to know is how to comp, right? How to find comparables. Privy's great for that. Zillow's great for that. Maybe 5 questions, Rachel says. So comparables, right? Like, unfortunately, we don't have a ton of time to go into finding comparables, but you're looking for properties that have sold within the previous, I would say in this market, you could look back at 6 months. So don't look back in April of last year. The furthest you can go back is maybe August of last year. And you're finding similar homes, right? With here's our property, Emporia Street, 960 square feet, 3-bed, 1-bath. So I'm looking for similar homes. Look at this one, Boston Street, 0.3 miles away. Similar lot size, similar build year, sold in November of last year. Looks like they converted a garage. That's interesting as well too. So, but this property, they bought it for 280 and they sold it for 415. Same thing, 406. And now Privy's great because these are investors. These are investors that bought this at 280 and sold for 415, 310, sold for 406, 405, 388, 395, right? So on this property, I would guess that my ARV is going to be in that 405 to 415 range, possibly. And you can look at it deeper, right? Look at these pictures. I can hit before and after. That's definitely a flip. They bought it for 310, sold it for 406. So I know my ARV on this property is 405,000. Joey says he only goes back to 3 months too. So I think, you know, it's up to you, but I think in this market, right, the market hasn't drastically changed over the last 6 months. When we were in late 2022 and interest rates were rising, you can only look at properties that sold in the past 30 days. Okay, let's start here. So when you're underwriting a cash deal, right, you have to know your ARV. You have to know that. So for this one, I know my ARV. We're going to call it 405,000. We want to be conservative too. What up, Maj? I don't want to overestimate and say, you know, this property is worth 425, right? I see 2 comps sold at 405, 406, 415. So I'm going to guess 405. Okay. Now you have to estimate. I'll show you guys the quick way actually. So one of the fastest ways to underwrite is to multiply this by 0.8. Now this number is determined, right? Sometimes you guys might hear people like it's ARV times 65% or 75% or 80%, right? That percentage is determined by how much inventory is available. I'll show you guys a really cool hack. I actually just did this for this area in Illinois because I did not know the market. But if you guys go into realtor.com and you can just type in, you know, Denver County. Actually, I'll probably want to just do the city of Denver because Denver County is large. So we're going to do Denver. Okay, this is really cool too. You guys should definitely write this down. So there's 2,430 homes for sale, active listings 2,437. Now I'm going to go into listing status. I'm going to hit hide pending and contingent. So I don't want to see the homes that are already under contract or about to close. So I'm going to hide that. So there's 1570. So our number was 2,430 available homes, or sorry, on market homes, minus 1570, 1,570 homes that are actually active. There's no buyer. So that's a difference of 860. Okay. This is how you find how many months of inventory are left. Okay. So 860 homes. I'm going to write that down. There's 860 pending homes. Okay. I'm going to hide that. Now I'm going to divide that number, 860 divided by the number of total homes for sale, including pending, including contingent. So divided by 2,437. I'm going to get 0.35. Do you guys see that? So that means there's about 3.5 months of inventory available. When you get over 6 months of inventory, it's now shifted from a seller's market to a buyer's market, meaning there's more sellers than there are buyers. You see home prices being cut, right? So interest rates affects this as well, but inventory drastically affects this. So in Colorado, if I only have 3.5 months of inventory, I know I can do 80% of ARV. Now, if there's 6 months of inventory, I'm probably closer to 65% of ARV. Yeah, Tony, I'll go over that again. So real quick. So realtor.com, this is great. So just type in any area that you're wanting to search. You can even draw, right? I can even draw. So I can even search. That's a bad circle. So 3,335 homes, right? Okay. So I type that number to my calculator, 335. Now I'm going to hit hide pending and contingent. Subtract 2,169. So there's 1,166 homes that are pending or contingent. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of that again. So that's 1,166. I'm going to divide that by this number again, 3,335. So again, 3.5 months. That's what that number means. So 3.5 months of inventory left. So that means I can probably do 80, maybe 75% of ARV. So that is how you calculate, whether you multiply ARV times 0.6 times 0.7 times 0.8. Okay. So that's the quick math times 0.8. Sorry, guys. The dog's crazy. Now I'm going to subtract, right? Your calculation's not done yet. You have to subtract renovation cost. Okay, so let's look back at Privy. Let's look at this listing. Okay, so if I'm looking at this property, right, it's 960 square feet. And actually, I know I'm jumping all over the place. If you guys come into the Facebook group, Herd of Profits, come over to Files, download this estimating repair cost guide. It will help you immensely in estimating repair costs. Come and check this guide out. So this guide has taught me that I'm looking for properties. I'm going to multiply the square footage by what level of renovation I think the home needs. Okay. So now this property is in good condition, but it's just outdated, right? It's rental condition, right? This room's going to probably need some vinyl plank, paint, windows look okay. Same thing, some landscape as well. Roof, I think, is in good shape. It's hard to tell from the pictures, but your living room, those floors look good. Kitchen definitely is where you're going to spend the most money, and this bathroom, right? So this property, what would you say, Jake? Tops, maybe $40 a square foot? Tops, I think.
Aurora might be a little bit tricky. I would do like 47 a square foot for something like that.
47 a square foot. Okay. Now, when you're looking at a property, let's say the kitchen's nice, bathroom's nice, right? Maybe it just needs, carpet and paint. You're going to be at $20 a square foot. When you're doing one, a couple of bedrooms, a new bathroom, a new kitchen, you might be at closer to 40, maybe $60 a square foot. If you're gutting a property and doing everything over, you're going to be at $60 to $80 a square foot. So that's what that rehab guide talks about. So I'm going to take 960 square feet. Jake's our residential expert at $47 a square foot. So 960 times 47. So it's going to cost roughly 45 grand in Denver to renovate this property. Now, if you're in Cleveland, Ohio, it can probably be done a lot cheaper. But 45 grand. So I'm going to say, go back to my underwriting, minus 45,000. Okay. So if I do this calculation, 405 times 0.8 right away equals 324. Subtract our 45,000. Sorry, I did my math wrong. Times 0.8 minus 45. My MAO is $279,000. Okay, so that's the quickest way to underwrite a cash deal. You have to know the inventory to figure out this, and you have to know how to estimate a repair cost to figure out this, and then you have to know how to comp to figure out this, right? So 3 things you guys need to learn when you're doing cash is comping, inventory, and rehab cost. Okay. Thanks, David. Appreciate it. And then real quick, I'm going to show you guys how to really break down the numbers. I'm going to try to do that quickly, and then we'll get to some Q&A and we'll call it a Zoom. So again, this is the more accurate way, right? If you're like just shooting offers out, use this method. But if you're like going to consider buying a fix and flip yourself, you want to be conservative with your numbers and run your numbers this way. So ARV, we're determined is 405,000, right? Now there's 5 major expenses when you're running a fix and flip, right? There's your closing costs. Not when you buy the property, but when you sell this property, right? You're going to be anywhere from 8 to 10% in closing costs. Okay. As savvy real estate investors, we should be able to get the lower percentage. So I think we can sell it for 8%. So that number is 32,400. Okay. You're going to have an assignment fee, right? That's how us wholesalers think. We want an assignment fee. So we try to make 15 grand per deal, if not more. You're going to have rehab budget, of course. We are to determine our rehab budget is 45,000. So now that number may be a little bit high, right? If you are experiencing construction, you have like hookups at Home Depot, you probably could get it done cheaper. Rehab budget. Now there's holding costs, and I'll go over these. And then there is investor profit, right? If I'm gonna come into this property and sink 45 grand in, right? I'm gonna take this risk. Like, how much money do I want to make? Typically, investors want to make on average around 15%. Some want to make more, some want to make less, right? But if I want to make 60 grand on this flip, and give myself a 20 grand leeway too, right? Like maybe my rehab budget's 65 grand and not 45, right? So I still make 40, not a bad day. Holding costs can be a little bit tricky. Most investors use hard money lenders to buy their deals. Most aren't just using their own capital, they're using hard money. So this calculation is going to be 405,000 times 0.7, right? Because in most hard money lenders will only loan you typically 70 to 80% of the actual loan you'll need. Okay. Times 0.7, and that gets you 405 times 0.7. That number equals 31 grand. Sorry. 405,000 times 0.7, that equals 283. Okay. Now, the bank's only going to loan you 283,000. You have to come with the rest as a down payment. Most hard money lenders charge you what's called points. They're basically percentages. Okay. So if I get a hard money lender, they'll probably charge me 2 points. So 2%. So that's going to be $5,670. And then I also am going to pay interest every month on this 283 grand. Jake, where are most hard money lender rates at right now? Do you know? 12?
So right
15?
now, rates on hard money is a 1 point origination fee and about 12% interest only payments every month. So if you're going to borrow around 450 grand, you're looking at paying about 4,600 a month, somewhere around in that range, interest only. No prepayment penalty. And if you like, let's say you need an extension, most hard money loans are only 6 months. If you need an extension, it's usually another 1 point origination fee.
And then, so this is your interest only payment on this amortization calculator. Most of this is interest. Actually, $2,825 is your interest. So, and it probably take you 2 months to renovate this property. Typically, when you renovate a property, it's going to cost you around it's going to spend or take around $1,000 a day. So if your rehab budget's 45,000, it's going to take you around 45 days plus another 30 for sitting on the market. Okay. So our total holding costs, this is the most complicated one to figure out. So it's 2,825 times 2. Right? That's my monthly payment to the hard money lender for 2 months, plus my 2% origination fee. Sometimes it's 1%, so it could be cheaper, 56.70. So my total holding costs, we can guess, are around 11,320, give or take. It might be more expensive, it might be cheaper. So these are your 5 costs associated with cash deals: closing costs, assignment, rehab budget, holding costs, investor profit, permits. I would calculate in your rehab budget. And then, so you're just going to subtract these, right? So 405 minus 30, let me do the actual math, 405,000 minus 32,400 minus 15,000 minus 45,000 minus 11,320 minus our profit of 60 grand gets me MAO at 241,280, right? So sometimes these numbers will be very close and you did math right. Sometimes they'll be pretty different, like 40 grand different almost, right? So you're probably pretty safe anywhere from 241 to 279, right? This number may not include your wholesale fee. So if you want to make 15 grand, I'd take 15 grand off this 280. You're probably safe locking it up at that budget. Do we have to go? Let's see. How many questions do we have? Okay. I'm gonna do it quick against the team's wishes. They don't want me to answer questions, but so I'm gonna answer your 4 questions. You only get 1, and I need it high level, quick, rapid, to the point. All right, guys. Let's see. Corey, what do you got for me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep.
Okay, so I understand there's ways to get like loans and stuff from Gators and different things, but is anybody, or is it common to talk to like contractors and partner up and say, hey, listen, I got this house, it needs rehab, you fix it up, and then you can get the money on the back end. You can even put a lien on the house to ensure that you're going to get the money. Is that a common tactic at all?
That is a common tactic. I wouldn't say common, but it does happen before. I think I could see Jeremy wiggling in his seat. He's a contractor. I know there's companies where that's their entire business model, where there's individual contractors that they do that, right? They're willing to take that risk of like, hey, I'll renovate this thing. That is technically called a novation agreement as well, too. Now, there's companies that have that business model, but yeah, if you can find a seller that's open to that, and a contractor that's also open to that, vet that contractor, obviously, but that is definitely a way you can get a deal done for sure.
Okay, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sweet. Thanks, Corey. Good question. Oliver, what do you got for me, brother?
Hey, that lady I was telling you about the other day, she is interested in sub 2. She is interested in making terms, but like I said, she said she was going to call back. Instead of waiting for her to possibly call back, should I just submit that as, yes, she's open to terms, she's open to this and that, this is what we discussed, follow up with her, because I have no faith that she's going to follow back up with us.
Yeah, most likely you're right. She's not going to call you back. So that's like, I'm in between there. You could, if you have a good spreadsheet, a good CRM that you trust, maybe you touch base with her in 48 hours, or if you'd like to just submit it to us and let us do the follow-up, same thing, we'll do that as well. So
I'm gonna give her one call and then shoot it over to you if nothing else happens.
sweet.
Cool. And instead of just I know it's two. Instead of just saying, hey, we're going to, you call me back, or I'm going to set up another date with you. If I've gotten all the information, can I just say, hey, I'll have one of you guys follow up in the next 48 hours and then submit it?
Yeah, that's totally fine. Someone on my team will touch base.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sweet. All right, Joey, what do you got for me?
Real quick, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So on a lot of these cash offers, when we are submitting it to the agent and they ask for a proof of funds, how do we navigate that? Like I've got a generic proof of funds from one of the wholesale groups or whatever, and it sends it back and it looks like a finance company. But is there something, if we send in the deal to you guys, how do you want us to navigate it when we send it to you?
Yeah, good question. So we have a very good credibility letter with like 10 examples of deals we've closed recently, referrals from sellers, title companies, agents, closing attorneys like Sean St. Clair's number is on there, and we have a proof of funds at the bottom. Since we've had that, I've yet to have an agent ask me for like a more, like updated proof of funds. Like that credibility letter plus the screenshot of a bank account looks great. If you want a legitimate hard money lender, this goes for all of you guys. So if you need a legitimate proof of funds, go connect with some hard money lenders in your area. Vet them, make sure they're legit. There's so many scammers out there claiming to be hard money lenders, right? Don't send your social security. Just try to build a relationship with a rep at a hard money lender. And they will actually most of the time give you a proof of funds. So you can say, hey, I already have my hard money lender lined up. Here's a proof of funds. Even though it's a hard money lender, they don't care, right? So that's what I would suggest. Get a relationship with a hard money lender and ask them if they'll send you a proof of funds. If they won't, go to the next hard money lender.
So when we tee them up and we're about to submit some of them have asked for one, some of them have not asked for one. And I've kind of gone by the method of Jamil, where I'm like, hey, I'm unrepresented. Can you submit an offer for me? And then I do, the MOA calculator and I submit it. But in order I know you guys want us to try and do as much of the legwork as possible so that it's not as extensive on your end. I think that's kind of the whole point of the elephant challenge is for us to learn, the baby steps. Some of them have asked for a proof of funds. I just didn't know if there's a specific way you guys wanted it. I knew you had your own system and obviously proof of funds. The other one is on those novation agreements. When I pitch cash and they buck up on it, I pitch the novation and like, hey, you carry the note, we'll do the renos, blah, 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 blah. Do you guys do any JV on those where I would want to finish it through, meaning I'll submit it, you guys could do the paperwork, and then I want to be essentially the end buyer on the novation where I finish the fish and flip or flip the flip all the way through to the end?
Absolutely. So that's a really good question that you bring up too. A lot of people in here, maybe they don't want to wholesale. Like if you're out there hunting for properties that you want to flip or buy as rentals and you're like, hey, I just need help with the paperwork or negotiating, we'll do that for you. We'll be the back end for you. We'll be your team that does the underwriting or negotiating or contracts, right? Typically we ask for an assignment fee, but it's going to be a lot smaller, right? Like I said, our average assignment fee is 15, but if you're the buyer and you're bringing us the lead, you just need help. Like maybe we'll just ask for $5,000 or something like that. So yeah, absolutely, Joey.
Would you guys do it at the end? Like the typical novation is everybody waits till the property sells,
Right.
but everybody has a JV and then a first lien, second lien, yada, yada, yada. Would you guys be willing to wait to the end?
Yeah, with a novation, right? You're not really putting any money down.
Anything, yeah.
Sometimes you
Yeah.
are, right? So yeah, it all depends, but absolutely. Yeah, like, maybe
Perfect.
if we see there's a huge spread here, we might, if you want us to wait till the end, we might ask for a little bit more, but it's all negotiable. So
All right.
100%.
Well, I've got a couple I'll be sending, but I just wanted to see the specifics. So thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Joey.
Bye.
Terrell, What do you got for me, brother?
I think Rachel, with some of the information she put in, man, she kind of answered my question. I just wanted,
Okay.
the contact and stuff, and just kind of get an understanding the premise of you guys' group. Are you helping with kind of our structure, give us some direction on structure and curating calls, or kind of reviewing some of our calls and make sure like we're in alignment, or just kind of what the premise of Herd of Profits is for the most part.
Yeah, I love it too. And that's why we have this channel on the Discord actually is listen to calls. So if you have a call that you've recorded and you're like, hey, any feedback on this? I struggled getting the seller on my side or whatever. Post it in this channel and ask us for, to give you some feedback, and we will. And other people in the Discord might as well too. Hopefully they're friendly about it, but that's one way. But yeah, like our business right now, I would say 80% of what we do is wholesale. So we identify on and off market deals through agents, text campaigns, other methods as well. And then we're either sending cash offers or subject to offers. We lock them up and then we send them to our cash or creative buyers. So that's 80% of what we do. We also do a lot of wraps. We help investors find wrap buyers. We buy rental properties. We syndicate money sometimes, but so that's mostly what we do. And we try to provide as much free value and training on what we do as possible.
You have any direct connections or referrals that's in you guys' group that's in the Atlanta market? My main house is in Atlanta, but I have property in Dallas, so I'm back and forth DFW and the Atlanta markets.
So like sub-2 students in Atlanta, or what are you looking for?
Or any of your direct connections anyone.
The biggest player, I don't know if you know Abraham Gray.
I can't say that I do right away, but I see someone
Look him up, man. This guy, he's a sub-2 student that I would say is right up there with Pace. Like he's on the same level as Pace, if not higher. This guy owns maybe 100 businesses and buys a house a week in Atlanta. Abraham Gray, he's probably one of the biggest players in Atlanta. And then Joey mentioned it too, Eddie Charger, EDDY, Eddie Charger. That guy's a beast as well too in Atlanta.
Okay, I actually talked to Charger before.
Yeah, good guy, man. He's really good. He's killing it. So.
Okay, sweet. There are some 2 meetups. Okay, cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys.
Right on. Yeah, of course. Thanks, Terrell. Sweet. All right, guys. Well, I think today was pretty good. Hopefully you guys learned some stuff. Again, if you want to come back and watch the underwriting, I know I went over it kind of quickly. There's a lot of complicated steps in there. Go to the YouTube channel and you'll be able to watch this replay, pause it, slow it down, go back, whatever you need to do. So last announcement too, we still have 60 people. The team is thinking that we're going to cut these Zooms from 2 Zooms a week to 1 Zoom. So we're gonna have to decide, but I think we're gonna cut the Friday Zooms and keep the Tuesday Zooms at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. That way most people are getting off of work or already off work as well. And we'll maybe keep them, we'll extend them. So we'll do a dedicated topic like today and then open it up to Q&A. So still in the works. I know that's people are sad, but yeah, just so much effort goes into 2 Zooms a week. But we're not sure yet, just an idea we're throwing around, but we wanted to let you know. Jacob asked if we're going to do hot seats. Yeah, that's probably a Zoom topic that we'll do. But we do have the virtual office hours. So Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 3, come join us. Joey, me, Jake, the rest of the team. We're usually making phone calls, writing contracts. We're in there answering your guys' questions, giving you feedback live. So get in the Discord and join the virtual office hours. And that's it, man. Yeah, join the Facebook. But yeah, we're super stoked to have you guys. Thank you for showing up. We will see you Tuesday. That's at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. So I hope to see all of you guys there. Thanks so much. If you like this Zoom, feel free to go shout us out on the creative Facebook group. That's one of the best ways you guys can return the love to us and submit your leads. If you need help, submit your leads and we'll help you get it to the closing table. So thanks, guys. We'll see you.